If you're ignoring the new math behind Bitcoin, you could be costing yourself the most pragmatic 10x opportunity of the next decade.
While absolutely everyone is still chasing that impossible 100x moonshot, the smart money is positioning itself for a completely different kind of win. And by the end of this explainer, you're going to understand the new calculus for Bitcoin wealth that separates the dreamers from the serious investors.
All right, let's start with the dream we all know, right? The Lambo fantasy. Those incredible stories from Bitcoin's early days where pocket change investments literally created a whole new generation of crypto millionaires.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the stark contrast. On the left, you've got the past. Back in 2012, a $10 bill could have actually made you a millionaire. We're talking easy 10,000x gains. Now look at the right. That's today's reality. The game now requires serious capital, and the target is a much more grounded but still incredibly powerful 10x return.
Okay, so why is that fantasy completely dead? Well, it really just comes down to the hard math of where Bitcoin is today.
Right now, Bitcoin's market cap is hanging around $1.84 trillion. I mean, think about it. When an asset gets this huge, it's not a tiny speedboat anymore. It's a massive supertanker. It takes an absolutely enormous amount of new money just to move the price. It just can't double in value as easily as it did back in the day.
And that right there leads us straight into what we call the 100x problem. This is the core mathematical reason why those insane lottery ticket-style gains just aren't a realistic expectation for Bitcoin anymore.
For Bitcoin to give you a 100x return from where it is now, its market cap would have to balloon to a staggering, get this, $185 trillion.
I mean, just to wrap your head around that number, look at this chart. A 100x Bitcoin at $185 trillion doesn't just dwarf the entire market for gold, it would be bigger than the value of the entire global stock market. It's just not a feasible scenario. It's not going to happen.
So if that 100x dream is officially off the table, what is the real opportunity? This is where things get really interesting. We're going to pivot from the impossible to the pragmatic and what is still an incredibly powerful 10x potential that all the experts are now focusing on.
This is the new grounded forecast. It's a shift in the whole narrative, moving away from disillusionment and towards strategic, calculated optimism. Let's be honest, a 10x return on a premier asset in a decade, that's a phenomenal goal for any serious investor.
So what does this path actually look like on a calendar? Let's break it down. Starting from a price of around $93,000 today, a 10x return gets us to about $930,000 by roughly 2035. And if we push that out a little further, a $1 million Bitcoin by 2040 is a very pragmatic target. This isn't about a quick flip anymore. It's about a core, long-term, strategic investment. Now, for more insights just like this, make sure you're checking out Crypto Global News. And hey, if you're getting some value out of this breakdown, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it, and definitely subscribe. Oh, and click that little bell icon so you don't miss our regular updates.
Okay, so $1 million Bitcoin, that's the target. But making truly life-changing wealth in this new era, it requires a totally different strategy and, let's be frank, a pretty significant amount of starting capital.
So let's run through this playbook. This is how the big money is thinking. Imagine an investor, and they've got $1 million in capital. They wait for a market low, say they get in at $60,000 a coin. That buys them around 16 Bitcoin. Now, if they just hold that position until Bitcoin hits our $1 million target, they can exit with a $15 million profit. See? This is how significant wealth is going to be made in Bitcoin's next chapter.
And this right here is the absolute key takeaway. Bitcoin has fundamentally changed. It's not a lottery ticket anymore. It's a powerful wealth multiplier for existing capital, and it demands a serious investor with a long-term mindset.
Okay, so that's the big picture, the long-term game. But what about right now? What if you're watching the charts day to day? Let's really quickly cover a few key technical indicators that are on our radar.
So first, a positive signal. We've seen 2 green weekly candles in a row, which could signal some upside. The big number to watch is $100,000. That's the key resistance we have to break through and hold. On the flip side, a little caution. The 50-week moving average has been compromised. All that means is the price is struggling below this key trend line. So what should you expect? Probably some short-term volatility.
All right, let's tie all of this together and deliver the final verdict on that big question we started with.
So, can one Bitcoin make you Lambo rich? Honestly, from today's starting line, it's pretty unlikely. The whole definition of rich has to change here. But can one Bitcoin provide a powerful, portfolio-defining 10x return over the next decade? Yes, that is a very, very likely scenario.
And that really solidifies Bitcoin's new job description. It's graduated. It's no longer just a wild speculative bet. It's a cornerstone asset for preserving and significantly growing wealth over the long haul. It's become a premier holding for any serious, forward-looking portfolio. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Bitcoin might not be the ticket to becoming a billionaire overnight anymore, but the real question you have to ask yourself is this. When you look at the entire financial landscape for the next 10 years, can you really afford to miss out on a potential 10x return from what's becoming one of the world's most important assets?
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.